Don't act like a mother when you failed to get into medical school. A failure is a disgrace, so get out. She was never such a cruel child before. Since entering middle school, Mia seems to be going in a strange direction. It's certainly good to focus on studies and improve grades. It's typical of Mia to want to be the best at everything. But that doesn't mean everything is permissible. Does she not realize there are things even family shouldn't say to each other, good or bad? There are times when she seems to think it's okay to hurt others to get what she wants. That's why I decided to confront her. Well, I'm not your real mother after all. Pushed to my limit, I decided to tell Mia the truth. Her face looked as if she'd been shot. Huh? Mia might be confused, but I think it's time she knew the truth. It seems she's been captivated by the allure of money and fame, ignoring what's truly important. I hoped she would have a change of heart, but maybe it's too late for my feelings to reach her. Someone who can't understand others will never succeed in anything they do. Mia needs to reflect on her actions and realize it's never too late to regret. I'm Riley Smith, 38 years old this year. I live with my husband and daughter, and during the day, I work at the front desk in a city hall in a neighboring town. It's been 20 years since I graduated from high school and started working, so I guess I'm an experienced worker in this field. I never really thought I was cut out for this job, but recently, I've started to feel that way. That's because I never originally wanted to work at City Hall. To explain why someone like me, who never wanted to work at City Hall, has been a public servant for 20 years, I need to start from the beginning, with my family. I was part of a family of 4, my father, mother, my older sister Alice, and me. Alice was academically gifted, always at the top of her class, and she decided to challenge herself by applying to one of the toughest departments to get into, medical school. Alice got into medical school right after high school, but we didn't know how expensive it would be. Apart from the regular tuition, there were additional costs for experiments and practical training, and living expenses since she had to live on her own. The money was never enough. However, my parents, proud of her, didn't want her to give up her dream and managed to make ends meet with their modest income. Their struggles were evident even to me, who was a high school student at the time. But once my sister moved to the city for her studies, we didn't realize how much she had changed. It's not surprising that Alice, who had been focused only on her studies until high school, went off the rails living alone in the city. She began to spend less time on studies and more on fashion and hanging out. Each time she came home for the holidays, she looked more sophisticated. As someone who still lived at home even after becoming a working adult, I felt strange watching Alice transform from someone who had nothing to do with fashion to someone who was now all about it. I had a bad feeling watching her change. Meanwhile, I was working hard every day to become a nurse. I had a strong desire to be like the nurse who was very kind to me when I was hospitalized. One day, when Alice was home, I opened up to her about my aspirations. But Alice just laughed at me. What, Riley? You want to be a nurse? Nurses are just underlings to doctors. Why would you want to be that? You're really weird, she said dismissively, waving her hand indifferently. Well, you do your best, I guess. I was shocked by Alice's words, but I had no intention of giving up my dream because of what she said. I continued to study hard every day, but on the day of the exam, I wasn't feeling well and couldn't perform my best, resulting in a rejection from the college I applied to. I was shocked, but seeing how hard my parents worked to send Alice enough money to live comfortably despite our tight family budget, I couldn't bring up the idea of going to another private college or taking a gap year. I knew if I insisted, I would just be a burden to them. I wanted to avoid that at all costs. Around that time, I saw a notice for a civil service exam in the neighboring town and decided to give up on college and start working right after high school. I had indeed been studying to become a nurse, but I realized being a nurse wasn't the only path in life. Besides, a government job meant I wouldn't suddenly lose my income due to bankruptcy or layoffs. And surprisingly, I found the job suited me quite well, and I felt fulfilled every day. When I learned I didn't get into college, I thought I was at the lowest point of my life. But now, I think maybe failing to get into college led me to this rewarding job. One day, when I was 20 and still living at home. It was a Friday, and I was thinking about what to do over the long weekend while eating dinner. Suddenly, I heard someone enter through the front door. When I hurried to the entrance, there was Alice. Alice, is that you? Welcome back. Then, Alice entered the house with a face like she was about to cry. "Hey, what's wrong? Something must have happened." At first, Alice was just silent, but then she started to speak in bits and pieces. According to her, she was pregnant. Now that I think about it, every time she came home, she talked about a guy she was dating, but it seemed to be a different guy each time. "So, you're pregnant with your boyfriend's baby?" "That's right. What am I gonna do? The guy you mentioned last time?" "No, I broke up with him a long time ago. I don't know." Basically, she got pregnant without realizing it while dating different guys. It seems she doesn't even know who the father is. Gosh. So, what are you gonna do? What about college? I can't just quit college now. It's too late for that. She had been wondering why she hadn't gotten her period, and then she found out she was pregnant. She was always careless, and by the time she realized she was pregnant, it was too late to choose not to have the baby. "But you know, the baby's gonna be born anyway. You need to think about what to do. Please, Riley, help me." Alice begged desperately. I couldn't help but think. Luckily, I had an income and some free time since I started working earlier than Alice. Maybe I could take care of the baby while Alice was busy with her medical studies. But I was worried whether I could handle raising a child. "Look, it's not the baby's fault, right? Help me out." Sure, the baby was innocent, and I couldn't let Alice's goal of becoming a doctor be ruined now. She was pursuing a career in medicine, which I once dreamed of, so I should support her in any way I can. "I have to become a doctor. You have plenty of free time as a civil servant. You can help me, right?" Although Alice's reasoning annoyed me, I couldn't let the child suffer. I thought Alice, in her current state, might find it difficult to raise a child. "All right. I'll take care of the baby. But remember, you're the mother. You should visit and take care of your child when you can." I get it. I'm counting on you for now." The heavy atmosphere from before vanished. She looked relieved, as if a weight had been lifted off her shoulders. I thought she was being selfish, but at that time, this was the only thing I could do. Alice named her daughter Mia and left her in my care. "Take good care of Mia for me. I'll come to check on her later," Alice said, but she never came to see Mia. I tried to contact her occasionally, but never got a reply. At this rate, Mia wouldn't even know who her real mother is. So, I decided to treat Mia as my own daughter. She is Alice's child, but she's so adorable that I couldn't love her more if she were my own. I resolved to give her all the love Alice couldn't. When Mia was 2, I married my boyfriend at the time. He proposed knowing that I was raising my sister's child. His love for Mia, as if she were his own, was a big reason why I married him. Mia seems to think of him as her real father. I try my best at parenting, but it's not easy. My husband is busy with work from morning till night, so he can't be much involved in parenting. Naturally, it falls on me to be the primary caregiver. I wonder if Mia feels something about her father not being around much. She started to become more rebellious towards me. They say girls develop fast, but I didn't expect the teenage years to come this early. Though we've had our clashes, my only wish is for Mia to make the best choices for herself. I'm willing to do anything that's good for her. Of course, thinking about the expenses involved, I've continued working as well. When Mia was in 6th grade, she said she wanted to take the entrance exam for a private school. "I want to try for this school." "What? Entrance exams? Why all of a sudden?" "The uniform at that school is so cute. I just thought it would be nice to wear it," she replied. It's true the school is known for its cute uniforms, but it's also quite academically rigorous and not easy to get into. "You'll have to study hard to get in, can you do that?" "Yes, I'll work hard." Despite her struggles, she studied and passed. Congratulations, Mia. You did it. I'm so happy I got in. Attending an all-girls school transformed Mia. She became desperate to keep up with her peers, studying hard. Maybe the competitive environment suited her competitive nature. But perhaps it was then that her competitive nature started to go in a strange direction. Mia became obsessed with achieving good grades. Is her competitiveness inherited from her real mother? As her grades improved, her personality began to twist in an odd direction. I just can't believe people who don't study and just laze around. It's like they have no value in living. Hold on, Mia. Life has many aspects, and people have their strengths and weaknesses. You can't just say someone has no value in living based on one aspect. That's what you say because you're soft. To study well, to be at the top, to go to a good college and make money. What's wrong with that? What's gotten into you lately? Being good at studying doesn't make someone better than others, I said. It's clear she's her mother's daughter, believing only in the importance of academic success. And just like Alice, Mia decided to aim for medical school. Of course, a woman who can earn her own living is a nurse. With that qualification, you never go hungry. Mia doesn't know her mother Alice, but it seems blood is thicker than water. I did everything I could to support Mia in achieving her goals. Paying for prep courses, mock exams, and application fees wasn't cheap, but it was all for Mia's dream. However, Mia seemed to take my support for granted. Worse yet, she started lashing out at me whenever something didn't go her way. One day, I got a call from Mia, who was at her prep course. "Hey Mom, can you come pick me up?" "What? Why all of a sudden? Did you forget your train pass?" Mia usually took the train to her prep course, so this sudden request made me think something was up. "No, it's nothing like that. It just started to drizzle a bit." "Drizzle? Oh, right. There's a foldable umbrella in your bag," I said. Then I could hear her sighing over the phone. "Don't you even think, what if I catch a cold? You're really clueless. That's why I hate having a dumb mom." I was disappointed by Mia's attitude, which showed no regard for how her words might affect me. "But, you know, I'm at work right now, and I'm going to be late today. It's a busy period." "What? I'm asking you to come pick me up, and you're saying no because of some job anyone could do? If I get sick, will you take responsibility?" She accused me over the phone. Her attitude wasn't new. Whether it was her rebellious phase or looking down on me, she was becoming increasingly disrespectful. I once had a talk with her and my husband about her attitude, but it seemed to have no effect. She started thinking she was superior because she had the brains to aim for medical school. Being fawned over at school for her academic achievements probably fueled her delusions. But, with the uncertainty of exams, I thought it best not to provoke Mia and kept my concerns to myself. Meanwhile, Alice, Mia's biological mother, hadn't been in touch at all. She seemed too busy with work to respond to any of my messages. Lately, Alice has been popular as a cosmetic surgeon, appearing on TV and in magazines, so I understood she was busy, but did she not care about her own daughter? I wondered what Alice would do in my place, but I continued to support Mia in every way I could. Mia was probably going through a tough phase, and I hoped that once it passed, we could have a good relationship again. But little did I know that my hopes would soon be shattered. As college application season began, Mia became more irritable than ever. It's a significant turning point in life, so her stress was understandable. Having experienced a failure to perform my best due to ill health in my own exams, I didn't want Mia to go through the same. I did everything I could to support her, but whenever we met, she would glare or click her tongue at me. I was frustrated, but I calmed myself, reminding me that it was all for Mia. All her hard work paid off, and Mia got into college. Phew, finally done with the exams. Now I'll be a college girl from spring. Well done. I always believed you'd make it. Well, what else would you expect from me? However, the real problem started then. Mia got a bit too carried away with the joy of becoming a college student. The next day after learning she passed, her life started to get disorganized. She wouldn't get up in the morning and would laze around in bed until noon. She'd munch on snacks that were more like breakfast or lunch while glued to her phone. I thought of overlooking it since she had been focused on her studies for so long. But as her lifestyle became increasingly disordered, and with her sporadic attendance at school, I couldn't ignore it anymore. If she continued this way, she'd struggle when her new life began. Worse still, I discovered she was using my credit card without permission. After seeing unfamiliar charges on last month's statement, I asked her, and she admitted to using it, which shocked me. Look, I understand you're happy about getting into college, but your recent behavior is excessive. Your lifestyle is all over the place. Well, I got in, so I want to live the rest of my high school life the way I want. The way you want? Does that include shopping with my credit card without permission? What? I had to use it. The site doesn't accept anything else. You nagging about every little thing is why I can't stand mothers like you. Mia was clearly not happy being scolded, grumbling, and complaining. Honestly, I wanted to live on my own. I was surprised to hear this all of a sudden, as Mia's plan was to commute from home to the college she got into. Wait, live on your own? What are you talking about all of a sudden? That's not what we're discussing right now. I wanted to experience college life freely, living on my own. But I can't since the college I got into is within commuting distance from home. She explained. I thought she was happy about getting into her first choice college, but it seemed she was unhappy because she couldn't live on her own since it was close to home. If I lived on my own, I wouldn't have to deal with all this nagging. Once Mia got upset, it was hard to get her back in a good mood. But seeing her recent behavior, I couldn't stay silent anymore. Then Mia brought up something shocking. Don't act like a mother when you failed to get into medical school. A failure is a disgrace, so get out. What? Why would you say that? I know about it. You flunked medical school and now cling to a job anyone can do. I couldn't understand why Mia was saying this. Frozen in shock of Mia, thinking I had nothing to say, hurled more words at me. I found your exam ticket with your name on it. It was in the bookshelf. Failed medical school, yet you preach at me. I had kept my old college entrance exam ticket as a bitter memory and a bookmark, never expecting Mia to find and use it against me. That's not relevant right now. You're the one acting all high and mighty. If you leave, I can do what I want. Dad's hardly ever home anyway, so it's practically like living alone. She pointed out, gesturing towards the front door. Go on, leave. It's embarrassing to be seen with someone as dumb as you. Dealing with a rebellious, upset daughter. I wondered if this was normal. But I had reached my limit. She didn't seem to understand the difference between what's okay to say and what's not, babbling on without a care. It was time to tell her the truth. You know, it's only natural I don't understand your feelings. What? What's that supposed to mean? Well, I'm not your real mother. I revealed. Mia looked at me, unable to hide her surprise. It wasn't surprising, given that I had always kept silent to avoid hurting her. But there was no longer any reason to hold back. So, I'm not your real mother. Maybe I should say I have no obligation to do all this for you. What? Don't you understand? What, you're going to abandon everything now? Isn't a mother supposed to support her child? I took out my phone and said to Mia. Want to know who your real mother is? It's Alice Wilson. You've probably seen her on TV. What? That Alice Wilson? The cosmetic surgeon with the beauty of the millennium? Yes, recently she's been called that on TV. She's your real mother. Mia looked at her phone incredulously, apparently searching for information about Alice. No way, why? Well, you might as well ask your real mother yourself. Mia started pacing around the room, phone in hand. But Alice Wilson lives in one of the most upscale neighborhoods in the city, right? She has a room just for her designer bags and another for her beauty treatments, at least that's what they said on TV. So that's my real home. Wait, you want to go live with your real mother? I asked Mia. Of course. I refuse to stay in this poor-looking house with just a tiny 120 square feet room for myself. Poor-looking house, huh? I was sick and tired of living with an annoying mother like you. I thought if only you'd leave, I could live my life the way I wanted. She continued, glancing at her phone. Wow, I can't believe Alice is my mother. Is this some kind of miracle? Guess you're not needed anymore. Mia said, pointing at me and laughing. That was the last straw for me. It's understandable she would think that, seeing only the public face of Alice. But Alice was the kind of person who wouldn't raise her own child. Mia, with a little thought, should have questioned why she wasn't raised by Alice, but she didn't. She just blamed me unilaterally. You've said enough, I get how you feel about me. Maybe you should ask your real mother to pay for your college then? Of course, that's the plan. Someone as wealthy as her will easily pay for her own daughter's education. So, you think that? I raised you until you were an adult, but now you're going back to your real mother, and I'm no longer involved, right? Then, Mia looked at me with an air of annoyance, giving nonchalant responses. Sure, whatever. I'll be glad to be rid of someone as annoying as you. I handed her a piece of paper. Then sign this. It states you're leaving this house, you won't have any dealings with me from now on, and you're renouncing any rights to inheritance or anything else. That's what you want, right? What's this, talking about inheritance as if you have anything worth inheriting? You're all talk. Mia scoffed as she quickly signed the document. There, happy now? She asked, handing it back. I took the document silently. As soon as she signed, Mia left the house in a hurry. I'll just go to the address you gave me. Finally, I can breathe easy and join the ranks of the wealthy, she exclaimed, leaving without looking back. I convinced myself this was for the best. In reality, I was about to come into a significant sum of money. My recently deceased parents owned some land, and selling it would bring in millions. I had decided to sell it, considering Mia's college expenses and the never-ending need for money. But Mia willingly signed away her rights to it, so that was her decision. Life for me didn't change much without Mia. However, in mid-March, Mia contacted me. Hey, can you send me some money? What's this about? I thought you didn't need money because your real mother has plenty. Mia, struggling to hold back tears, pleaded over the phone. No, I might not be able to go to college anymore. Apparently, Mia hasn't yet paid the entrance fees and other expenses for the college she was accepted into. What do you mean? You can't enroll without paying the entrance fees and other expenses, right? What? You know that and still ask? How shameless! I had already heard about it on TV and in magazines. Alice's past misdeeds had been exposed by gossip magazines, leading to a dramatic drop in her work. Moreover, she had committed a serious medical error, and her reputation as a cosmetic surgeon had plummeted. I saw on TV about Alice's terrible medical mistake. After such a blunder, I doubt anyone would trust her. Are you really talking about it like it's someone else's problem? What about my entrance fee? Why not get your real mother to sort it out? I'm a stranger now, after all. Mia raised her voice over the phone. So, you're saying it's okay if I can't go to college even though I got into medical school? Whether you go to college or medical school, it's all the same to me. You can't just say it's all the same when it's your daughter. But I didn't ask you to go to medical school. Besides, didn't you say not to act like your mother? I could hear Mia struggling for a response over the phone. But I didn't mean that. Sure, you were happy about getting into medical school. But don't you understand there are things you shouldn't say to people? Not even a mother can forgive everything. But I don't understand that, Mia replied, her voice sounding tearful. I knew I had to say what needed to be said, so I spoke to Mia. Well, you wouldn't understand if I just said it out of the blue. Can we meet to explain? Yes, I want to see you, Mom, Mia exclaimed, eager to meet. After all the terrible things she did while living at home, and now suddenly wanting her mother. Mia's actions were beyond what could be excused as teenage rebellion or stress. Maybe it was kind to make her understand the reality. I arrived at the agreed location to meet Mia. Holding a thick envelope, I saw Mia running towards me. Oh, good. The deadline for the entrance fee is the day after tomorrow, she said, her first words about the deadline. Watching Mia, who was still the same as ever, I thought to myself. So, where's the money? Mia asked, extending her hand towards me. I placed the documents I had taken out of the envelope into her open palm. What's this? This is the agreement we made. What agreement? What are you talking about? Don't you remember? If you look at it, you'll understand, I said, pointing to the documents already signed by her, cutting ties as family and renouncing any inheritance rights. I was only taking care of you. I'm not your mother, and you yourself said I wasn't, right? I did, but you can't just say hurtful things to someone and then expect help when you're in trouble. That's not how it works. But she trailed off. I gently placed my hand on her trembling shoulder and said, You said you wanted to cut ties as family and go live with your real mother, renouncing all inheritance. You need to take responsibility for your own words. But I just said that in the heat of the moment. So, what now? You think you're not to blame? Yes. Well, maybe a little. But I was just stressed, so much stress. Mia started making excuses. So, you think it's okay to say things you shouldn't and hurt people just because you're stressed? I didn't think it was a big deal, just a joke. I never thought you'd be hurt by that. She replied awkwardly, still not grasping the gravity of the situation. I'm deeply disappointed with Mia, who continues to talk only from her own perspective, regardless of what's discussed. You know, I need you to become a doctor. So, you only need a mother when it's convenient for you. It's about time you learn that hurting people has real consequences. What? You can't be serious. What will happen to me if you abandon me? I left her there. Mia seems to be crouching in the same spot, looking down, but I didn't look back. In the end, Mia couldn't pay her college entrance fee or tuition and was unable to enroll. Scholarships and such processes couldn't be arranged so quickly, so either way, enrollment was impossible. Someone who can't understand others' feelings doesn't bode well for a future doctor. By the way, Alice also contacted me later, but I refused to take her call without a second thought. She never bothered to reach out before but tried to cling to me conveniently when she was in trouble, just like mother, like daughter. I'm now enjoying life with my husband, something we haven't had in a long time. And I'm working hard to pursue a long-held dream. I always wanted to be a nurse. And I've rediscovered that desire. Sure, I can manage my current job well enough after doing it for so long, but it's not what I truly want to do. I've decided that I want to pursue my long-held dream, rather than settling for a job that just offers moderate fulfillment and stability. I realize that taking this step at my age is quite bold. But I've decided to stop keeping my desires bottled up and hidden away in the depths of my heart. Today, I'll continue studying for the college entrance exams.